Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Tailgate Talk Week 4, the halfway point for some conferences. I can't either. Now, it's not the halfway point in Eastern A, but that doesn't make it any less significant. In fact, this week, a huge week for our three local teams in the Pine Tree Conference. All three, Edward Little, Lewiston, and Oxford Hills, come into the week with 1-2 records, and they're each playing a team that's 2-1. And to belabor a point that everybody seems to be beating to death this year, 4 teams make the playoffs. There's that number 4 again. If you're 1-2 and you lose and go to 1-3 against a team that's going to 3-1, you're in trouble. And let's start with maybe the most desperate team of the three, and that's Lewiston, because I don't think there's any question that after giving up a total of 98 points the last 2 weeks on the road against Messalonskee and Brunswick, that Lewiston is in desperation mode as they host Skowhegan, a team that's doing way better than anybody expected.
Yeah, how about this? You're Lewiston, you go up to Messalonskee, you're feeling pretty good. You go in there and get absolutely destroyed by a team running the double wing. The next week you're still reeling when you go to Brunswick. Messalonskee is beating you up physically and psychologically. And you go into Brunswick and you cannot stop the run at all. Brunswick just ran up and down the field on them. And then, oh, by the way, the next week you have to face another double wing team, which, oh, by the way, just happened to beat Messalonskee last week, the team that sent you reeling in the first place. Obviously, you know, the Lewiston season turns on this game. If they lose this game, it could be even more of a downward spiral. It would be tough to recover from that, especially when the schedule is still very difficult after this. So a huge, huge game for the Blue Devils this week.
The last time we saw a Skowhegan team running the double wing this well, it was right on this field where we're standing in the pouring rain about 3 years ago in the PTC final here at Walton Field. EL going away from Walton Field this week. They will be at Brunswick, of all places, Brunswick that just mauled Lewiston last week. You know, if you believe in common opponents, Brunswick gave Bangor all they could handle and basically dominated the game, only to lose on the scoreboard at the end, 21-20. Does EL have a chance, coming off a 51-6 loss to Bangor, now going into Brunswick?
Well, you don't want to say they don't have a chance, but you know, when you talk about Brunswick, I think we've been looking for that number 3 team, perhaps a number 2 team all year after Lawrence in PTC East. I think we found it in Brunswick. I was very impressed with them last week against Lewiston. Their depth, their speed, their intensity, their defense. I think their defense may be the best defense in the Pine Tree Conference this year. Just very, very physical, very tough, very quick also. It's going to be a tough assignment for the A's. You saw them here last week against Bangor, Kalle. Just they don't seem to be able to find the consistency that they need to be considered one of those top contenders.
And Oxford Hills going up against a team that also wants to be in that top 3 discussion, Messalonskee. It's at Messalonskee. Oxford Hills has had their 1 win this season. That seems to be their annual win the last 3 or 4 years. They'd like to get to 2 or 3. Is this week a chance for that at all?
Well, you know, you never know when a team comes off a crushing defeat like Messalonskee did, and we are seeing improvements in the Vikings, particularly defensively. The defense has played very well the last couple of weeks. They had the shutout 2 weeks ago against Mount Ararat. They held Lawrence to, 25 points last week? I mean, that's pretty solid, and I know that Coach Withy is very pleased with the defense's progress thus far, and it's very important for that team to start to get an identity early on, and it appears to be on the defense right now. The problem is on the offense, particularly shooting themselves in the foot with penalties and turnovers. That takes a little time to overcome when you have a new coach and a program that's trying to move up. But hey, you know, if they can at least compete with the Eagles this week, that's a step in the right direction for them.
He is Randy Whitehouse. I am Kalle Oakes. I don't think I told you that before, but if you didn't know by now, we're probably all in trouble. This has been Tailgate Talk. See you on the sidelines.